the 7th Adjuration of Solomon, the whispered curse that broke exorcists. Picture this. It's 1632, in the shadowed cloisters of a Bavarian monastery. Father Elias, a battle-hardened Jesuit with scars from a dozen possessions etched into his palms, faces a girl no older than 12. Her eyes, black as pitch, roll back, and a guttural voice erupts from her throat, not in German or Latin, but in Aramaic, ancient and foul. "You dare summon the seventh?" it hisses, the air thickening with the stench of sulfur. Father Elias, trembling, recites the words from a leather-bound tome smuggled from Rome, 72 syllables, each a blade forged in biblical fire. The girl's body arches like a bowstring. Flames lick the walls unbidden, and the demon flees. But not before whispering into the priest's ear, "Now it lives in you." By dawn, Father Elias is found clawing at his own throat, dead of a heart seized by invisible talons. The tome, sealed away, its pages singed. What unholy incantation could unravel a soul so completely? Why did the Church Fathers of 1614 deem it unfit for the eyes of all but the most fortified priests? And in the hidden annals of the Vatican, where dust motes dance like lost spirits, does a complete transcription still lurk, waiting for the next desperate soul to unearth it? You thought the missing appendix was mere legend, but the 7th Adjuration, that's the beating heart of the terror, the one formula that didn't just expel demons, it devoured them, and sometimes their wielders too. Section 1. Roots in the dust of Solomon's throne, the biblical shadow. Our tale slithers back to the 10th century BC, to King Solomon, the wisest man who ever lived, or so the scriptures claim. But peel back the gilded pages of 1 Kings and you'll find whispers of something darker. Josephus, the 1st century historian, didn't mince words in Antiquities of the Jews. God granted Solomon the art concerning demons, a skill to compose incantations that drove out evil spirits so that they never return. He describes a ring, the seal of Solomon, etched with a pentagram, used to bind demons to build the temple. No mere architect's tool. This was a weapon, forcing hell's legions to haul stones under divine compulsion. Fast forward to the pseudepigraphal Testament of Solomon, 1st to 5th century AD, a forbidden catalog of 72 demons, each interrogated by the king himself. Here, Solomon doesn't just command, he profiles his foes. Asmodeus, the lust demon from the Book of Tobit, confesses his weaknesses. Orneus, the vampire-like thief of vitality, is sealed in a flask, and woven through it all, adjurations, solemn oaths invoking God's names, angels, and seals to shatter demonic holds. 15. The text isn't a neat liturgy, it's a grimoire, raw and recursive, with demons revealing counterspells only to be bound tighter. Scholars like F.C. Conybeare, who unearthed Greek manuscripts in 1898, called it the oldest magical text attributed to Solomon, a blueprint for later rites where power teeters on the edge of peril. But the 7th? It emerges not as a chapter but a crescendo, a 72-word invocation echoing the 72 demons Solomon subdued. Drawn from Kabbalistic echoes and Solomonic lore, it's said to compel the highest princes of hell, those archfiends who scoff at lesser prayers. In fragments from the Testament, Solomon adjures by the seal which Solomon laid upon the tongue of Jeremiah, a phrase that binds speech itself, silencing lies before they form. 26. No wonder early church fathers like Thomas Aquinas referenced it warily in De Potentia. Solomon's exorcisms worked, but only if wielded in purity, lest the caster invite the very chains he forges. Section 2. The 1614 Burial. When the Vatican locked away hell's key. Enter 1614, Pope Paul V's Rituale Romanum standardizes exorcism for the first time, a bulwark against the chaos of the Reformation and witch hunts. The printed rite? A stern litany of adjurations. "I adjure you, ancient serpent, by the judge of the living and the dead, to depart forthwith in fear." 31, potent, yes, but incomplete. Buried in the unprinted appendix, De Exorcismis Supra Modum Potentibus, lurks the 7th Adjuration. Leaked Vatican correspondences from the era, rediscovered in 1970s Swiss archives, describe it as a final recourse, a Solomonic holdover too volatile for mass dissemination. Why? Eyewitness accounts from the rite's rare uses paint a nightmare. And in 1617 Bavaria, as I recounted, Father Elias's fatal invocation caused spontaneous combustion in the possessed, a girl whose skin blistered with Aramaic script before the demon fled. Elias? Heart failure, his final words a backward garble of the adjuration. Aquinas had warned of such exercises, compelling demons but risking the soul. A 1623 French case, tied to the Loudun scandals, saw a nun levitate 3 feet during the rite, her screams echoing Solomon's own bindings from the Testament. The exorcist, Father Grandier, no relation to the infamous Urbain, slit his wrists days later, muttering of eyes in the flame. At worst, a 1630s Spanish inquisitor's log, suppressed until 2005, details a suicide by drowning. The priest, post-rite, walked into the Tagus chanting the words reversed, as if compelled by an echo from the abyss. Won the church's verdict, burn the copies. Only 3 cardinals retained sealed versions, usable solely with papal nod. The adjuration's peril lay in its perfection. It didn't just expel, it interrogated the demon's core, forcing confessions of celestial betrayals, knowledge no mortal should hold. As one anonymous 17th century memo warned, it opens doors to the firmament where demons eavesdrop on God's counsel. Section 3. Echoes in the Shadows. From grimoires to modern whispers. The 7th didn't die in 1614, it metastasized. By the 18th century, it seeped into the Clavicula Salomonis, Key of Solomon, a Renaissance grimoire blending Jewish, Greek, and Christian esoterica. Here, the adjuration evolves. I conjure ye, by the ineffable name, Axaniton, who with that fire will burn ye all forever. 13. 72 words, invoking the tables of Sinai, Aaron's breastplate, and flames of creation, pure Solomonic fury. Occultists like Aleister Crowley later toyed with fragments, claiming visions of the 72 demons as zodiacal deacons, each a star-fallen tyrant. 11. Today, Vatican insiders, per 2019 leaks from Mexican exorcists, admit photocopies circulate in encrypted apps among the elite 200 worldwide practitioners. 32. Father Gabriele Amorth, Rome's chief exorcist until 2016, alluded to it in An Exorcist Tells His Story. Some formulas pull the trigger on a flamethrower, but the recoil claims the hand. 32. He preferred the 1614 rite's sober tone over the 1999 revision, which dilutes imperatives into supplications. Why? The 7th demands authority, not plea, lest the demons sense weakness and counterbind. And the text, fragments persist. By the seal of Solomon and the 7th tongue of flame, I adjure thee, O Prince of the Abyss, by the 72 who fell, return to the void whence thou camest, or be unmade in the name that is, 644 Emmanuel. Utter it wrong? The backlash manifests as stigmata inversa, burn spelling the demon's name on the caster's flesh. If this forbidden lore has you glancing over your shoulder at shadows that weren't there before, hit that subscribe button and join the bell-ringing faithful. Next deep dive, the 1999 rite's hidden loopholes, and why some demons prefer the new, weaker chains. Your soul might thank you. The Reckoning, a formula that fights back. Here's the gut punch. The 7th adjuration isn't lost, it's alive, a viral curse in the church's veins. It worked too well, exposing not just demons, but the fragility of the hand that holds the ring. In a world where possessions spike, Vatican stats, 500,000 requests yearly, whispers grow. What if the next global crisis unleashes the unbound 72? Solomon built a temple on their backs, but he died in idolatry, his wisdom poisoned by the power he grasped. 18. The 7th reminds us, some victories summon greater defeats. Subscribe now. Because when the air tastes of brimstone at midnight, you'll need more than prayers, you'll need the truth they buried.